So you found your way here. Just kidding. It's probably safe to assume if you have that you've inherited a home, or maybe you're expecting to inherit a house in like the near future. This is part 3 in our inherited property series. So before you watch this, if you haven't watched the other videos, maybe go check those out first, okay? So the probate process can seem pretty overwhelming, like everything that's like legal related. If you don't understand it, it just seems like a bunch of gobbledygook. So I'm going to try to break this down for you. What is probate? I'm happy you asked. So probate is basically the court's way of making sure everything is handled properly when someone passes away. If there was a will left behind, then the court's going to validate it, oversee how the estate is divided once everything's all said and done. In this scenario, the estate refers to everything that was left behind that may be of value. That includes houses, it includes cars, clothes, as well as debts, liens, or other financial obligations, right? That's the credit card, that's the mortgage on the house, it's maybe child support and that kind of thing. If there was not a will left behind, then the estate is going to have to be handled through what's called an administration proceeding. These can be a little complicated and rather expensive. If they pretty much only have a house that's left, you might want to look at some other videos that we have about how to navigate these kind of sales when there's not a will in place. It's very helpful. Let's talk about what actually happens during probate. It usually goes about like this. First off, you're going to need to have an official copy of the death certificate, and you're going to need an official copy of the will. You're going to take that will and you're going to file it with the probate court. This is what kind of officially kicks off the process. The court is going to check that it's the most recent will and it's the only one that's out there right now, and that there aren't any other conflicting wills. An executor or an administrator is going to be appointed to handle the estate. If there's a will, then the executor is usually named on that. You should have a will, so this shouldn't be a problem. The executor or the administrator now has to contact all of the creditors, the heirs, anyone else who needs to know about this. Any debts, taxes, or other expenses owed by the estate are going to be identified and paid off using the estate's funds. Finally, whatever's left, including the house, is going to be divided amongst the heirs according to the will or to Texas inheritance laws. Now, I realize that all sounds pretty straightforward, and it can be. It can also get a little bit more complicated, especially if there are disputes among family members, maybe unclear ownership or unresolved debts. A common issue that we also see is heirs trying to sell a home without completing probate. While you can do this, typically the property is not legally transferred to the heirs until probate has been completed. So this means that title is still in the deceased person's name. This means that it takes a very different approach to get that property sold. It also means that like creditors or other parties that have a claim might be able to delay or kind of impact things. So once again, if you're looking to sell an inherited home, it's important to just make sure you really understand the entire process before you start. As you can see, working through the probate process comes with a lot of hurdles. Family disputes, title complications, unexpected costs, property repairs, all kinds of crap like that. Making sure everything is handled correctly is really important. And sometimes getting the guidance that you need is worth the money. Go hire an attorney or a probate specialist if you're unsure of what to do. That said, if you still have questions about the process, or if you have a property that you'd like to talk to us about selling, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to help, even if we're not a right fit for you or we can't solve your problem. We're happy to work together. Feel free to reach out to us at our website, www.forgedhomebuyers.com, and we'll get you a cash offer as fast as we can.